Yes. But it's in the slide, so after today, you can still go there. So we still go by our obesity for the purpose of illustration. So we have a book here. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Good. We have a book here. Can the obesity crisis be reversed? And it was published in 2021. Very fresh. So you want to own this book, you just go there and then you download. When you click, you see the URL address, and then you click on it, and it will give you access.
Okay. Mr. Ekron, is
Yes, sir.
the Director of Open Access Books, does it have
Yes.
any relationship with the Director of Open Access Journals?
No, it's different.
Okay.
So we have Director of Open Access Books, that's one. Director of Open Access Journals, that's two. And Director of Open Access Repositories, which will give you thesis, free thesis online. Full thesis published online that you can download free. See, I'm showing you this because if you come to UG, they will tell you register offline, off campus, do this, do that. So that one is for bona fide UG student, and we call it UG space. But the Director of Open Access for Repositories is free. It's free. Okay. So this is a book I have downloaded. This is a book I've downloaded. Free textbook. And published by Johns Hopkins University, 2021. So you can see that it's a very current and useful book. So once a while, you want to download books and keep on a pen drive, or you can download and keep in your Google Drive. So look at the chapter 1. How do people gain excess weight? Why are people getting heavier? What are the consequences of obesity? What are the best ways to lose weight? How to reverse the obesity crisis? So this is just by way of example. And you see that when we open it, we saw a lot of books there. We saw a lot of books there. So I think I'll move on. I'll just move on from here so that we can cover a lot. See, we have 616 books on obesity. 616 books, full books. So that's just one. So depending on your area, you can just type in and then so the ones I mentioned, I'm not going back there. I want you to go and practice Director of Open Access Journals, Director of Open Access Repositories, that will give you thesis. And we also have what we call African Journals Online. I don't know whether we know of that one. African Journals Online.
Journals.
It also
Yes.
is also open. Then we have Academic Journals Online. I think that one we should practice using it. Academic Journals Online. Academic Journals Online. In fact, these are peer-reviewed free journals online. So this is how it looks like. So depending on what you are searching, let's see whether we can find something on pediatrics. Pediatrics. So you can see that we have Journal of Pharmacognosy and Physiotherapy. I'm not seeing your area, but it can be hidden somewhere else. We have pathology and forensic medicine. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on so that we don't waste too much time. I want us to look at TRIP medical database. TRIP medical database. So we can search obesity. In fact, the advice is that you shouldn't always be using one database. And over the years, I've realized that people are familiar with Google Scholar and these days PubMed, but they are not familiar with the rest. That's why I'm walking you through. So look at this. This database is called TRIP Medical. And you can see, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it, and we are following on our screens.
We have 168,000 results. The first one is what? Overweight and obesity management.
Yes.
Overweight and obesity management. So you see that if you use several databases, then you can see variations in the way people write and then the concept. So you don't limit yourself to just Google Scholar and PubMed. That's why I'm taking my time to, and you can see some of them are very current. Some of them are very, very current. endoscopy, endoscopic sleeve gastroplasty for obesity, interventional procedural guidance. See, this should be a very good article. It has recommendation, corrections, current treatments, and procedure. So that's Trip Medical. So the list, I've included the list in my slide, which you have. Any question or we move on?
Okay, so we can pause a little. Any questions so far? I hope we have been able to follow the search so far. African Journals Online, Trip Medical Database, Directory of Open Access Books, Directory of Open Access Journals, Directory of Open Access Repositories.
And we have Medline. Sorry, I don't know whether you are aware of Medline.
Yes.
Maybe we should look at Medline too, because these are all free.
What?
Medline.
Okay. Medline is also a free resource.
Yes. Medline is also free. So this is Medline. This Medline. So Medline has given her 9,000 results. 9,000 results. Obesity in children. If for them, even the first one, it goes straight like that. Obesity in children. So even here we can use our concept. Let's see if we can use some Boolean operators here. So we can say that, and we put nested search. Let's say obesity. No, childhood obesity. And so we are using the AND operator. And children. And children, bracket close. And Ghana. We want to see whether somebody has done something in Ghana. So, but the Ghana too, we are not too sure whether there's something on Ghana. So we'll put it into another bracket. So we say what? Ghana or let's say West Africa. West Africa. So let's search and see the result. Wow. 944. So if you can write it down, this is what we call search strategy, typical search strategy. Childhood obesity and children, and all into brackets, and Ghana or West Africa also into bracket, then we search. You see, so this is how you filter your work and reduce it. Mind you, we have not talked about the dates yet. It's also part of filtering. You can limit it to a year, range, which is also part of the filtering thing we were talking about. So I believe we are following small.
Yes.
So over here, if we have our Mendeley or any reference manager, you can, as you download, you can be forwarding them into your reference manager. And some of the reference managers are compatible with some databases. And then also these days we have the mainly web browser. I don't know whether you are aware of that. And so as you open the browser, it upload all the relevant databases on that web page, so that you can click and forward to your mainly for storage and for onward or subsequent referencing.
Mr. Newton.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so the referencing and the reference managers is one of the important areas, especially those who have theses and dissertations to do.
Yes.
Is it possible that we can have a session another time, if you have the time, for us to go specifically, have a presentation specifically and practice on the reference manager?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
Then
So,
I'll walk you through how to save, how to upload documents, how to do in-text and reference management, citations, and also annotations, how to do annotations and all of that.
yes, okay.
It will
So,
get some 1.5 hours.
yes, so the whole of that presentation will be referencing. So
Yes.
for all of us who have joined the call, before that presentation, I will advise that we will download and install Mendeley on our laptops.
Yes.
So that we can practice. So between now and when we will have that presentation,
okay.
make sure you have installed Mendeley on your laptops so that we'll practice the referencing. I've seen that that's one of the things I struggled with when I was doing my fellowship.
Yeah.
But fortunately, there were a lot of YouTube videos that helped. I'm sure that with your direction, it will be easier for those who are doing their fellowships now.
Right.
Okay, so we can carry on.
Yes. I want us to go to another database and see how it. So we have what we call the MSD manual. MSD manual. MSD manual. MSD manuals. In fact, MSD manual, there are two. We have the professionals and the consumer editions. So yes, so these are also free this thing that we can search for literature. I have not tried obesity here, but let's see whether it or something on. You see, obesity and overweight, because it's a trending issue. So, but you see, it has given us only 22. Only 22. But very good articles. Obesity in adolescents. Etiology of obesity in adolescents.
Okay, so Mr. Newton,
Yes,
let me
sir.
just ask a few questions that are on the chat. So somebody is asking, what about Zotero for references? What do you say about Zotero?
They basically perform the same thing. So if you are familiar with Zotero, fine. Carry on with that.
Yes, I personally use Zotero.
Once it's working for you, don't force yourself to chain to know. Sometimes what happens is some even can conflict, there can be clashes. So when you install both, like EndNote and Mainly, you have to suppress one before you'll be able to use the other one.
Okay.
Meanwhile, they all almost do basically the same thing.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you. And then, even though we are not doing referencing now, there's a question on that. If you are not able to get the full article, even using the free resources,
Yes.
and the article or the abstract and introduction provided, you get a sense of what the article is about. Can you still reference it, even though you don't have access to the full article? Does it have any legal consequences?
Yes, once you have used some piece of it, you have to reference. And there is a manual way to reference. Mind you, before the reference manager, we were doing a manual way of referencing. And in the reference manager, there is a portion where you can manually reference. So let's say, like we are talking about gray literature. You have read something from Ministry of Health bulletin, and you want to reference it. You know the title. You know the author to be Minister of Health. You know the date for publication. You know the number of pages. So there's a portion there. There's a column. You just put all these figures there. And once you upload it into the reference manager, whether Mendeley or Zotero, it will appear as your in-text citation or your bibliography. And it's okay. It's right to do that. So don't worry, once you have read some portion and extract something, just look at the author, title, date, and fix it in there, and it's okay. Otherwise, the plagiarism checker is like AI. When you put the thing into Turnitin, it will scan the whole internet, and it will tell you where you pick the thing without referencing, and then it will give you red. So we want to avoid that. But if you do this, it become gray or sometimes even green, then you are safe from being accused of plagiarizing the work. So I don't know whether I've answered the question.
Yes, I think you have answered. She was just concerned whether if you haven't read the entire article or you haven't bought it, whether you can reference it. So I think what you are saying is that once you have taken information from it, whether it
Yes.
is from the abstract or introduction, you
Or
have to
discussion.
reference that
Yes, you have.
information. Okay, yes.
Can we go to slide? Any more questions?
Okay, there are no questions on the chat.
Let me go to slide 18. Slide 18. Yeah, so I'll be giving you some one of the handouts that I'll be giving students, and then it will also help us to practice. So, like we said in evidence synthesis, they will give you a formula to follow. So I have tried to modify this, what I've been using to teach students. So I put a question here. I want us to look at it. Family planning among adolescent women in Ghana. I assume that we have exhausted childhood obesity. So we want to shift to this one. Is that the case, or we should go back, sir? All right, so once we are here, let's deal with this one. So I want us all to try this in PubMed. So you can see my screen.
If you're using ChatGPT.
adolescent women or young ladies or teenage women as one concept. Then family planning or birth control as another concept. Then we have Ghana, West Africa, or developing countries as also as another concept. Are we okay with that? I want us to write it down. Then when we go to PubMed, we practice it. Then we can end there, because looking at the time, I don't think, like we said, we'll find another time to complete with the reference manager and referencing. So I want us to come back here and do it, and then we finally grasp what we have learned today, because this will give us a combination of the Boolean and all of that, what we have learned. Otherwise, some people too can go by the other question. It will basically give us the same results in a different format. So please, have we put down the question? Family planning among adolescent women in Ghana. All right, so please, at PubMed, and please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
So please, kindly go to PubMed, and then you click on Advanced Search. Advanced Search. This page will give us the option to, add concept by concept, because we are giving ourselves the question, family planning among adolescent women in Ghana. And we are using the PCC formula, which is population, concept, and context. So population here, adolescent women, and then the context is family planning, and then concept is family planning, and context is Ghana. Now, like what I showed earlier, the slide, I want us to go back to the slide. Yes, so the slide, we have adolescent women / landladies, teenage women, all giving us similar, meaning. See, we talk of keywords, so this is how it goes. Depending on the topic you are, writing about, you always must do that. If you don't do it and you put in the full title just like that, without breaking it down, sometimes you might not end up getting anything. So this is what I want us to translate into practice. Now we have moved from keyword, from phrase search. Now we are using string search to try and see how we can get articles. So we'll go back to our PubMed. Hello. So in here we just let's pick the title abstract as a, yes, and put in the query. We are talking about adolescent women. So adolescent women, or what do you think can be another synonym or term? For me, over here, I use young ladies, which I think is okay. So we pick or, we add or, and that is Boolean. Then teenage women. Teenage women. So teenage women. So that is the P concept. We are done with that. So let's search. We click on search, and it has given us 1,370. All right. So we'll go back to the second concept, which is context. So we look at, first we select the term title abstract. Then we look at family planning. And then we say the related term is birth control. So, or birth control. Any mistake there? Family. Please, are we trying our hands? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, are we trying our
Yes,
hands? We
yes,
are
Mr.
almost getting
Newton.
to the end. This
Yes, Mr.
normally when
Newton,
you are
yes.
doing evidence synthesis, that is how the scoping search goes. And so this is just a brief introduction to that aspect as well. So we click on search, and then we having 50,110 results. But you notice that at this level, I'm basing my search in PubMed, because PubMed is health-based database. But I'm not using Google Scholar because you will not get good results. Besides that, PubMed is recommended for evidence synthesis because it will allow us advanced search to add and add concept. Google Scholar doesn't have that system, inbuilt system, where you can be adding concept by concept. That's why we recommend that. For us here, we have a Science Direct and other databases, but for you, because you have to get it free, so I'll recommend Medline or PubMed. And for me, I think PubMed is the best, or is excellent for such, searches. So let's look at the third one, which is a context. And over here, we can put title abstract. So we are talking about Ghana. So we put Ghana there. And what is a related term? We said it can be West Africa. So West Africa. And I think this is a mesh term. This is a mesh term. It's a mesh term. But we can cross-check and see if it's actually a mesh term. So we can go back and look at PubMed. West Africa. So we have Africa Western. Africa Western. So we can so let's put it aside. Africa Western. Africa Western. Or developing countries. So we search and I think developing country is not a match term. So you can see there's a question mark here. All right. So if we were to be doing the real evidence synthesis, you go back and correct it and go forward, because research we are told is iterative. So we can go forward and back, but because of time, we can just leave it here and then go back to finish our work. Yeah, so there's history here. The query history is here. So we are going to combine so we combine this one, add, we go here, add. Yes, so you can see that the final result is 17, which is fine. So that is how you do this type of searches also. Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Are we following?
Yes.
So we are come to the end of our workshop, if I may speak, but yes, so this is the end of my presentation. More questions are allowed to ask by this time. You can see that all that we've done, the three concepts, we have 17 results, which is fine. If we don't go by this strategy, you will be downloading 500,000 articles and it will be difficult to even synthesize and do your writing. So this is one of the advantages of going through these strategies. Okay. So we can practice later. I think I'll put something in the chat box so that it will be a guide in addition to the slide that I will send later. On the desktop.
Okay, Mr. Newton, thank you so much for the presentation. If we have any more questions, we can ask, but the slides will be made available so
Yes.
that you can take your time and then carefully go through what we have learned.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that with the guidance that has been given in the slides, we will be able to search the literature very well and then get all the information that we need. So if there are any last minute questions that we want to ask, let's do so before we bring the meeting to a close.
Any question? So there's a leaflet there on how to conduct lectures, basically on the family planning thing. So we can practice it. And if you have any question, you can call me, send me email. My contact is on WhatsApp. And I think by now, or for now, I'm an associate member of the Pediatric Association. So we will be working together. I'm very grateful for your time and making yourself available for this presentation. And thank you all for your cooperation. So over to the coordinator.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Newton, for accepting to prepare and deliver this presentation. We are very grateful, and we know that it will help us in our future research, and then will help us get the information we need to search the literature in an organized way. So I will stay in touch with you so that we have the one on the reference manager use, because it's one area that we think is a problem for many people who embark on research. So we thank you. We'll talk about it, and then when we agree on a date, we'll communicate with the members. So
please, can we take a photograph of, because I'll need it for for my records. So people should feel free and show their faces.
Put our cameras.
Yes.
Okay, then let's all put. Mr. Newton, will you be able to take it? So we are putting on our camera so that you take it. Yeah, let's put on our cameras and then take the picture. Yeah. So those of us remaining, let's
please, so let me see your
yes, I hope you are seeing my face.
Yes. Majority are showing now.
Yes.
I need it so much for my records.
All right. So let's smile.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I think I'm okay.
Okay, all right.
So let's be in touch. Yeah.
All right. Next week on the 18th, we'll have another presentation. And then I think subsequently, Mr. Newton will be ready to give us the other lecture on the reference manager use. Thank you all very much for attending, and let's enjoy the rest of our evening. Good night.